Hi everybody, I'm Ryan, and today we're going to talk about the Legacy metagame over the course of the past week. As with all my metagames, these are technically winners metagames because Magic Online only posts top 32s of challenges, but that's okay. Let's do it. So if we look at this Legacy metagame, at the top is, this data is actually super weird. At the top is a three-way split between Dimir Reanimator, Painter, and Eldrazi. Small gap followed up by Dimir Tempo, and then Sneak and Show. So let's talk about these decks. If you want to see more of this graph, please feel free to pause so you can check it out a little deeper. I'll start with Sneak and Show. Sneak and Show is a super old school deck where essentially they are drawing a ton of cards, especially with the new card Stock Up, ramping their mana with Ancient Tomb effects and Lotus Petal to play a super early Show and Tell or Sneak attack to cheat an Emrakul or Atraxa. Sometimes Atraxa is a Grizzlebrand, but people have moved more towards Atraxa onto the battlefield and win the game either with sheer card advantage like with Atraxa or Grizzlebrand, or by just beating your opponent in one fell swoop with Emrakul. It is a disgustingly powerful deck when it does its thing, but it's only trying to do that one thing. And so if people see it coming, it's reasonably easy to hate out. It's just rising in popularity because of Stock Up. In fourth is Dimir Tempo. Even with the banning of Psychic Frog, they can't keep this deck down. It's playing efficient draw spells like Brainstorm and Ponder, efficient counter spells like Daze and Force of Will, and then backed up by Tamiyo, Orcish Bowmasters, Baleful Strix, and Kaido, newly added. Kaido is extremely powerful. And of course, Murktide Regent. So these really efficient, powerful creatures, this crazy card advantage, and then tearing apart their opponent's hand with Thoughtseize and Fatal Push, removing one for one. It is the premier tempo deck of the format. Sharing first through third, Eldrazi. Eldrazi ramps their mana with Ancient Tomb-esque lands and Lotus Petal to cast big, aggressive Eldrazi creatures super early in the game. They can tear apart their opponent's hand with Thought-Knot Seer, they can tear apart their opponent's mana base with Sowing Mycospawn, and they can deal an insane amount of damage all at once with Glaring Freshraker, combined with pretty much the entire deck. On top of all of this, they have access to Kozilek's Command and the One Ring that they can cast for a lot very early in the game to back up these powerful threats. And they have the Chalice of the Void turn 1, which can turn off, a majority of decks in Legacy. Again, sharing that top spot, Painter. Mono Blue Painter is becoming more popular than Mono Red, especially after, again, Stock Up is pushing this deck to the top again. What Painter is attempting to do is use, again, these Ancient Tomb lands and Lotus Petal to get Painter Servant and Grindstone onto the battlefield at the same time. When you do that and then target your opponent with Grindstone, technically everything is whatever color you select with Painter Servant, which means they mill their entire deck and you win the game. So behind all of that, you're drawing cards as much as possible, and you have Force of Will and other strong counter magic, so you can do this ASAP. And then the last deck that is sharing the top spot is Dimir Reanimator, which we thought was going to be banned out, but it is still hanging out at the top. This deck takes the Dimir Tempo shell, takes out some of the redundant and unneeded cards to put in a Reanimator package where they effectively play like Archon of Cruelty and Atraxa, which they can entomb and then seek to animate dead or reanimate it. This also works with Cycling Troll of Khazad-dûm as early as turn 2, and then protecting all of that with that Dimir Tempo stuff with the draw spells and counter magic and whatever. It's just a very powerful thing to be doing, and it is still dominating Legacy. But that is the Legacy metagame. If you like this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Check me out on social medias. Links are above me and in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.